Hey guys, Captain CA here for FlatsClass YouTube, and today we're going to talk about, well, the little things. The little things that will help you catch fish when it's really chilly, especially on these January mornings. Let's go to the water so you can see what I'm talking about, and then we'll come back here and I'll break some tackle down right here at the desk. This episode of FlatsClass YouTube is brought to you by Aquatraction, your go-to solution for advanced marine flooring. Trick Shot is doing it for you, man. Eldora fishing at its finest.
Yeah, he's right down there in the center.
In the deep stuff.
Yep.
It's like you gotta let it get right down because they're just staying down there.
He picked it up when it was still. Yep. Gill wrapped.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's back in his mouth. Oh,
It's okay.
wrapped around.
You know, that's actually a drop shot rig. It's I didn't tie it as a drop shot. I put it on that new little. This is kind of like the ultralight version of the Texas. It's called a Finesse Texas eye.
Did you say finexed?
Finesse, I meant.
Finesse.
It's just because that's Texas.
Yeah, giving you some good water shots.
Oh yeah, yeah. This guy's a star. This guy's
smile.
a true star. All right, I'm gonna counterweight. Let's take a picture with him. Turn around before you take the hook out.
With the lure?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those lures that kind of stands out.
Get him on this side.
Nicely done. Let me get got some otter tracks going up there as well. Lots of wildlife. Including Mikey here, kind of a wild man.
Spear chucker on the job. Yes.
Nice. John off the schneid. That little that's like a little craw bait that you've got I put on there. It looks just like a crab.
Oh, he's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good fish. It's a good fish. You steer him back here to me and I'll just take care of him for you, John.
How do you grab a fish like that? Just out of
I'll show you.
okay.
I'll show you. I know it seemed like it was catching fish in a barrel, but it's not over yet. We actually poled around some mud flats and some backs of creeks and still caught a few in the shallows. But for the most part, the fish, especially in the first half of these colder winter days, if you will lock down in that insulating depth of anywhere from 4 foot to 8 feet of water or deeper in some of these creeks and small tributary rivers. Now, to catch these fish, these speckled trout and redfish, oftentimes their appetite is quite diminished, so you have to fish smaller baits. The biggest problem with smaller baits is finding terminal tackle that'll actually kind of match up with them. And then when you match that smaller terminal tackle, then you got to match the rod and reel setup. So let's talk about the terminal tackle. These are what I would call finesse bullets. Cool little lure. Let me get this other one out of my hand here. Cool little piece of terminal tackle right here. And I don't know if you can see it. It's designed to be a Texas style rigging technique, and even the eye itself, when you look at it, you see how that eye doesn't come where it'll catch grass on the edge? For the most part, it rolls over rock and moves through grass fairly easy. Now, I rigged it for John this way. This is a little TRD cross, cool little bait, very fiddler crab-like, if you will, or mud bug-like. And the fish love it. You can see how it's rigged on there just perfectly. It's able to get over. And the cool part about this bait is the arms are so thin and these claws are so bulbous with this proprietary Elastec material. The claws kind of just float up and wander around, and it looks like a fiddler crab defending himself. Very effective bait for us in those creeks and those holes. Now, the other lure that we used was what we call the trick shots. The trick shots, especially in this twilight color, has been very effective. It's kind of a purpley pink, if you will, and it's got this ribbed body, so when you add scent to it, it holds it there very well. Again, very thin here past the thoracic cavity, and lets that little spade tail bounce around a lot. It almost lifts up when you're swimming it. Now, I put this one on a new piece of terminal tackle from Z-Man, and it's called the Finesse Texas Eye. So just like the Texas eyes that you're used to, again, I'll show it to you here. There's no weight there. The weight's all in the head, and it's a swivel head, a totally swiveled head. So, but you see how thin that wire is? Makes for good hookup penetration for sure. And these are really easy to rig, even on the Elastec. I just come through the chin like that, pull it up. I forgot that you guys can't see when I'm doing it on this little camera. And then I'm gonna rig it right in here. So you have something when it's rigged that looks like this. And if you look right here, you can see some of the stills of both these baits, both the first one, the TRD Craws, and this one, the trick shots. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go back to the action, watch a little bit more, and then I'll tell you about the rod and reel setup that we utilize to catch these fish. You're on fire today, Mike. You can do no wrong.
Yeah. It was impressive out of the gate. Now he's like, I'm gonna get on the boat.
He's out. Reel down on him quick. That way you can get close to that knot. There you go. There you go.
He's staying down like a red, huh?
Yeah, he's digging like a red. It's a good one too, yeah. Well, I always say they're good ones.
Hey man, any redfish is a good one.
That's right.
You know.
Sitting here hunting.
I have no
Hunting the little Capt
hogs,
creeks.
You done, buddy?
I think he's done. I'm gonna come down and help you out. Done. Eldora Life is treating you good. It's gonna be all the stuff you can do with your,
Ooh, good fish.
yeah, with your
Eldora
boat.
Life's so good, I'm gonna get one.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd love to hear that. Love to hear the Vanford cry. That's what I call it, crying. Especially that little setup there.
Yeah. Good fishing.
Especially that setup there. Oh, he's throwing water.
Oh, look at that profile.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that look.
It's a good.
Love that golden profile in the sun.
Going all the way around.
Just showing off a little.
Just showing off a little.
Just gotta get the other side.
Okay.
No.
You can take
Yep.
your finger if you want to, and you can put it on that spool a little bit.
I got it.
Yeah. Reel down. Look at the size of that thing. Ned rigged him again.
Come on. You're done.
That might be the big one.
I think that's the big one.
I think that's the closer. The closer. Probably,
buddy.
that's probably top slot right there, man.
Yeah.
All right. Nice wrap up. Mike's a strong angler. He fishes with me quite a bit now. He just bought him a place here on the Nature Coast, so him and I have become more regular fishing partners. So he had that advantage. He kind of knows the zone that we're fishing. But right there at the end, we used the old, 1-2 that works for us a lot around here, which is the Finesse TRD. It's really a do-nothing bait. It's like half a Cinco, and he used that on that Finesse Texas eye. But I promised you that we were going to talk a little bit about the setup for fishing baits this light, because remember, the way we had the TRD craws on the Finesse bullets, well, that's only a 1/10 of an ounce piece of terminal tackle. Now, when you add the soft bait on there, the TRD craws, it turns into about an 1/8 total weight. But that's it, 1/8. So you're gonna have to throw it on something light. Same thing applied for the Texas eye, which is right here. That Texas eye is only, on the Finesse side, is only 1/16, maybe 3/32. That's all it is. So by the time you add the trick shots, you're probably flirting with a little more than an 1/8. What I would call, in the old construction business, a fat 1/8. So what are you gonna throw this stuff on? Well, because we were in those tight little creeks, we needed something that wasn't a real long rod. We just needed to be able to throw to the banks, into the drains, and mostly when I came up on a hole and you could see the dark zones, be able to just make a small cast into those zones. So we chose this rod. This is the Terramar PX. This is the 6'8". Now this is a medium light, but it has an extra fast tip. But it throws lures, if I looked on here right, it throws lures from 1/8 all the way up to 3/4. But I'm here to tell you, on this PX rod, it's very soft. It's a very soft rod. And that's why we chose it, because the fine wire on especially the Texas eye would be vulnerable if we were throwing this on a medium action. We needed to throw it on something light, something that could deliver a nice cast with a light bait. But when we stuck the fish, well, we're gonna have to play it. And a lot of those fish were played out pretty well to get them boat side. Now, I paired, because this is, this is the Terramar PX, lightweight rod. I just put a Vanford 2000 on that. So this is a Vanford 2000, and I packed it with 8-pound braid. But if I had 6-pound Power Pro, I would have used 6-pound. But I only had 8-pound in the Super Slick V2. So that's what I used. We used 8-pound. I knew casting distance wasn't going to be a big deal. But if you were in a scenario where casting distance was going to matter, you might want to go back down to 6. But I felt like 8 did a great job, especially in the creeks. We tied on about 4 foot, and I'll show you. See how small that knot is? That's a modified Albright. We tied 4 foot of 15-pound fluorocarbon on here. So a good bit goes to the eyes of this rod perfectly, because this rod was designed to fish saltwater. And that's really the formula that worked for us that day. We ended up catching about 13 or 14 fish total. And in my opinion, that's still a good day around here. If you like what you're seeing here and you're learning stuff that helps you catch more fish from FlatsClass YouTube, please subscribe and please share it with your buddies. I want this channel to grow to a point where I can bring you a video almost every day. All right, until next time, Captain CA signing off.